Oh my God. All right, we're going to call the public powwow to order. I don't think we have anybody on the list to do that, but we got some folks here. So I'll tell you a little bit about the public powwow because you may want to be involved in this at some point or maybe tonight. So the public powwow is an opportunity that our council has given citizens to come in front of us the first Monday of every month at 5:30 to share with us anything we need to know about happening in the community. Because if we didn't offer you this, you would have to wait to the end of a city council meeting before you could have comments to the council. So this has been a really powerful communication tool for us. We have literally, as I said in some videos, we have actually changed ordinances because a citizen has come and told us, hey, here's something you need to be aware of. So we don't vote on anything in the public power hour. It's really the opportunity for us to have a conversation, for us to ask some questions. And the other thing that I think everybody here will confirm is, you know, if you had an issue and you talked to Councilman Buck, well, that's one council person. But what's nice about the public power hour, excluding the night, we don't have all seven yet, but when we have a full council, all of us hear the same thing. And so, especially if it's something that we need to give guidance to our administration to look into, to address, it's more powerful and more effective if all of us consensus wise say, hey, this is an issue. So I was just tell you that is, you know, spread the word out, folks. So with that being said, since we don't have anybody who signed up in advance, then what we do is we open it up for anybody who would like to, anything on your mind that you want to share with us from city council. And so it's anything that's not on the agenda tonight. So anything on your mind, this would be an opportunity if you feel like you want to take a few minutes and talk to us, you can. We're going to sit here for about 10 minutes in case people come in. So we'll be sitting up here. Just raise your hand and give me a yell if you want to share something. Oh.
I'm talking about the tennis courts. I mean, those look nice.
Yeah.
I mean, they did a phenomenal job with them. So that's, you know, the public power hour. They came and talked about tennis courts need to be resurfaced, and they came and spoke, and we made it happen.
I'll tell you one of the first ones that happened. As y'all know, on the greenway down at Pisgah, depending on the direction you go there's a little meter that triggers that light as you cross over. You know what I'm talking about? And we had a citizen come forward and say, well, I was walking on Sunday, and when I walked this way, it came on. When I walked back, it didn't come on. Well, we did not know that. So we were able to call DOT. They were out the next day, and, you know, they had to order a part. But again, that's something that easily could have gone on until somebody. So, again, it's just an opportunity for you in a really informal setting without all the directors and all the other people here just to talk to us. So I'll turn this off until anybody needs to say anything. You do, because we live stream this. Yeah. Yeah, I got you. Well, you and I are going to talk. If you can just, we need more time than what you're going to have here for us to talk. We're going to talk. All right. We're going to close out the public power hour. We'll be starting the city council meetings right at 6 o'clock. Good evening. I'd like to call the City of North Augusta City Council for May the 5th, 2025 to order. It's great to see everybody. We might need to have a swearing in every Monday to get all y'all here. So this is good news. This is exciting. Thank y'all for being here. You are welcome to join me in prayer. Dear God, as we begin another year with a new council, we continue to ask for your guidance. We ask that you'll give us discernment to make the best decisions for our citizens of North Augusta. We ask for your blessings as we strive to honor you in our roles as elected officials. Amen. If you're able, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, a roll call from my left.
David McGee.
Pat Carpenter.
Britton Williams.
Jennifer McCollum.
David Buck.
Kevin Toole. Very good. Item 4, approval of minutes. Are there any corrections, deletions, or additions to the regular city council meeting minutes of April the 21st, 2025, or the study session minutes of April the 28th, 2025? Okay, hearing none, they stand approved as distributed. All right, we have a couple of proclamations, and I'm going to start off, Chief, you want to make me down front? Okay. How are you, sir? Good to see you. Okay, let me tell you a little bit about National Law Enforcement Week. Whereas in 1962, President Kennedy proclaimed May the 15th as National Peace Officers Memorial Day, and a calendar year week in which May 15th falls as National Police Week. And whereas established by a joint resolution of Congress in 1962, National Police Week pays special recognition to those law enforcement officers who have lost their lives in the line of duty for the safety or protection of others. And whereas the members of the law enforcement agencies in the city of North Augusta play an essential role in safeguarding the rights and freedoms of the citizens of North Augusta. And whereas it's important that all citizens know and understand the duties, responsibilities, the hazards, and sacrifices of their law enforcement officers, and that law enforcement officers recognize their duty to serve the people of this community by protecting them against violence and disorder. And whereas the law enforcement officers of the city of North Augusta unceasingly provide a public service, now therefore, I, Britton S. Williams, Mayor of the city of North Augusta, South Carolina, proclaim the week of May the 11th through 17th, 2025 as National Law Enforcement Week, and call upon all citizens in this community to especially honor and show our sincere appreciation for the officers of the city by our thanking the men and women who make it possible for us to leave our homes safely each day and return knowing we are protected by men and women willing to sacrifice their lives, if necessary, to guard our loved ones, property, and government against all who would violate the law. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the city of North Augusta, South Carolina, to be affixed this 5th day of May, 2025. I've said this repeatedly. I put our law enforcement folks up against anybody. Chief Johnson, his leadership team, and what the men and women do to protect us is incredible. So, Chief, we are thankful for your service, what you and your folks do for us every day, and hopefully you can be recognized this whole time with this month. Thank you so much. We got our public service folks out working. We couldn't get them. They're picking up trash, so we couldn't get them to come here today for this. I'm going to read this proclamation from the dais. Whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities and to the public health, high quality of life, and well-being of the people of North Augusta. And whereas these infrastructure, facilities, and services cannot be provided without the dedicated efforts of public works professionals who are engineers, managers, and employees at all levels of government and the private sector, who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our city's transportation, water supply, water treatment, sanitary and stormwater sewage, and solid waste systems, public buildings and other structures and facilities essential for our citizens. And whereas it's in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children of North Augusta to gain knowledge of and maintain an ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of public works and public works programs in this community. And whereas the year 2025 marks the 66th National Public Works Week sponsored by the American Public Works Association. Now, therefore, I, Britton S. Williams, the mayor of the city of North Augusta, South Carolina, do hereby proclaim the week of May the 18th through the 24th of 2025 as Public Works Week in the city of North Augusta, and I urge all citizens to pay tribute to our public works professionals and to recognize the substantial contributions they make protecting the health, safety, and comfort and quality of life. Now, I'll just tell you, one of the things that stood out immediately after Hurricane Helene, and not every community around us can say this, but there wasn't a citizen that did not have water. We had some pressure, it might not have been great, but between our administration and our public works folks, we knew, number one, we had to make sure we preserved the water. So they do so many things behind the scenes. None of the sexy, exciting stuff that we talk about here at City Council. It's the stuff, quite frankly, none of us really see. And one of the things we've got to do a better job of getting that out there to you, so y'all can appreciate what they do. But anyway, just very thankful for our public works folks. So I'll keep this. Give them a round of applause. Okay, we're going to jump right into old business. We have one item, planning and development, ordinance number 2025-10 to amend the zoning map of the city of North Augusta, South Carolina by rezoning plus or minus 0.49 acres of land owned by Christopher L. Allen, tax parcel number 006-12-12-024, 006-12-12-047, and 006-12-12-046 from GC General Commercial to R7 Small Lot Single Family Residential. Do I have a motion to approve this ordinance on second reading? All right, Ms. Carpenter, thank you. Is there a second? All right, Mr. McGee, appreciate that. Mr. Clifford, anything you'd like to share about this? Remind everybody what's happening?
No new updates on this, Mr. Mayor and Council, but just to remind the folks, this is a planning and zoning request to go from general commercial to R7. This is not an annexation. This is inside the contiguous city limits, and this 3 tax parcel numbers are off of Georgia Avenue. This is for the purpose of taking kind of a couple of odd-shaped lots, combining them together to allow them to put in a small housing unit there. Not tiny homes, but just a smaller development. And so ultimately, the Planning Commission recommended this action, and the staff does as well. And so this is your second reading of the ordinance for your potential approval.
Very good. Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Clifford? Okay. Are there any citizen comments? Okay. Any council discussion? Okay. I would just tell you, I think this is a great piece of infill, couple. Where it is, can give you guys some perspective. If you know where McDonald's is, there's a little store right there in the corner crossing over Georgia and Five Notch. And there's some kind of buildings that have been raised now. I don't know if they're even there now. But there's a little piece of section of land there that's going to be done with this. I think it's going to be a nice piece.
It'll make it look a whole lot better.
So anyway, I feel good about it. All right, hearing no other council discussion, I'll ask for a vote. All in favor? And that is unanimous. Thank you.
And Mayor,
Yes,
before you move on, since we've got so many people here tonight, we're not used to this. Explain how we do when we vote on things, we're just not voting tonight. We discussed this.
Good. Thank you very much. So we have resolutions, which are items that we vote on one time. That's to a very specific event or cause or expenditure. An ordinance is really our laws. And for an ordinance in North Augusta, our ordinance says we have to have 2 readings. And what we do prior to a city council meeting, this is great for everybody. We actually meet 4 Mondays. We meet every Monday, basically. Our first and third Mondays are city council meetings. Our second and fourth Mondays are study sessions. So to be frank with you, if you come to city council meetings, in general, a lot of the heavy lifting is done at the study session. But the study session is where a week before we ever vote on anything, that's where we find out what's on the agenda. That's when our administration and staff will present and educate, is where we have questions and discussion. So the study session, to Ms. Carpenter's point, is that's where we kind of get all that. So when we come to our city council meetings, in most situations, there are exceptions to everything. But normally on a second reading, we have publicly, I think, all expressed this was a good ordinance on the first reading and the study session. So this is pretty clean. Is that okay? Good. Okay, thank you for that. All right, we're moving to now new business. I'm just going to accept a receipt of information into our minutes for the 2025 municipal general election certification of official results from Municipal Election Commission. That's not anything we vote on. We just accept that in, and Jamie, that's now in the minutes. So that is absolutely official. Okay, we are now on item 8, City Council. So what I'd like to do is we got two folks that we need to recognize. And the first one, I'm going to ask Councilman David McGee, if you don't mind, meet me in front of the dais. All right. That is, all right. So, David, thank you for your service. David has served a lot of roles. When Mayor Pettit was the mayor, he was mayor pro tem. David and yeah, you hear me? Okay, it sounds like. When early parts of Riverside Village were being built, Mayor Pettit had asked David McGee and Fletcher Dickert, he was serving. They were kind of the liaisons for the city, very involved in that. David has brought a ton with your construction background to the table. I know Mr. Clifford has, when we were talking about public safety headquarters, definitely was able to use your insights. What impressed me about David when I became mayor, we're part of the Municipal Association of South Carolina. And that is a place where we go through training over our 4 years. And we also have meetings where we get with other municipalities and we learn. David was a quiet leader in that endeavor. Be frank with you, I don't think our city council really supported that too well early on when David became on council. But David on his own said, I'm going to attend, I'm going to participate. And he actually was elected to the board of directors of the municipal for our state of South Carolina. And I think David was real happy when Jen and I got elected because we started attending and David Buck started attending and Pat Carpenter. So we got a really good representation. But for a few years, he was kind of out in the desert, I think, by himself. But Dave is a quiet leader and doesn't always say a lot. But when he does make comments and insights for us on the council, it's very telling and very positive. So, David, brother, I must tell you, this is presented to David W. McGee with grateful appreciation for your outstanding leadership and service to the city of North Augusta, South Carolina, May 2013 to May 2025. From the Mayor and City Council, this is May 5th, 2025. So thank you, sir, very much. And I'm going to let you, if you'd like to say anything, this is your opportunity.
Okay.
Hold on, microphone.
I get to hold it. Where do you start? Okay. I want to say thank you to the citizens of North Augusta. It's been an honor to serve these 12 years. I took this position when a project started being named Project Jackson. And I had a group of people that said, hey, David, I think you'd be great for this. We would like to see you on council. And I said, do what? And I jumped at it, and I've loved it every second. I've appreciated. It's been a joy at times. It's been a pain at times, but it's been a great honor to serve the citizens of North Augusta. I've learned a lot. Um, I've had a lot of experiences. I do want to thank all the citizens that supported me over the years. I want to thank my family because it does take a lot of sacrifice of time, and they gave a lot, and I tried to give everything I could. And I want to tell everybody that being up here, you sometimes you're in situations where it's not a great vote. People aren't happy about certain things, so you get. I used to always say just snake eyes from people. So when you stand behind, when you sit behind this desk, and you see people out here, and you love everybody out there, and you want to represent every citizen you can. And sometimes it's tough. Sometimes you have to vote because you believe that it's the best thing for the citizens of North Augusta and for the city of North Augusta. Even sometimes when you don't believe it's the right thing to do 100%. But you do your research, you learn, you ask questions, and you come in here prepared to make a decision that you think is the best for the city. And I want to tell you that's what I've always done. I've always done that and will always do that. And I just want to thank you. It's been an honor. I've served a couple different mayors and city administrators, and everybody, the new people, take advantage of the MASC because I learned a lot. It was about 2 years in, I kept getting these letters and information. And back then, I think it was Miss Donna, and I went to her and I said, "What is this thing?" She says, "It's continuing education." And I said, "What?" Because I kept getting it, and I didn't really understand it. So then I started looking into it. She said, "Yeah, you can go do that." Well, I started doing it on my own, and slowly kept getting more and more. But take advantage of that because we had some lawsuits and some other things, but everything fell in line, and I started to learn a lot from them and the experience. And I appreciate all the time, and I love North Augusta. Thank you very much.
Hi, Miss Jennifer McCauley. Come on down, young lady. What I tell you about Jennifer is she's done everything right on council. I was thinking about it. You really kind of broke a lot of barriers. Kelly won't let me say old or young. He says I get in trouble. But her generation wasn't represented 4 years ago. She and I were the newbies on council. Her generation was not represented on this council. You can see. You know what? There wasn't a female business owner represented on council 4 years ago. There wasn't a mother with small children who was a business owner on city council 4 years ago. And I can tell you, line up those things, and I think what's going to happen because you served was I'm confident there are going to be a lot of other folks who are going to say, Jennifer Cawley has young children. She's a business owner. Hey, I can serve because I can tell you there's a lot of excuses that you could make why you don't need to serve. And she has literally you've done everything right. Been mayor pro tem for the last 2 years. I've always known that she's had my back. We've been able to go forward with our initiatives, and I knew I could count on you for that. But you have represented our community amazing when you filled in for me at things. And again, I think you have brought a lot of citizens who were not going to be engaged because they didn't have anybody representing them like you do on council, like you did the last 4 years. So, Jen, we are just going to miss you. We're thankful for your service. Stay positive. And hope you will. I know you're going to be involved in the community because you love this community, and I hope you'll just continue to make a difference. So, I have a plot, yeah. With grateful appreciation of your sound leadership and service. So anyway, for that, and I'm gonna let you say a few words if you like.
All right. Whew, this is not easy tonight, but as I prepare to step away from the seat, I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you to the city administration. Thank you for your hard work, your dedication, and commitment to this city. You show up every day, and a lot of the work is behind the scenes, and you give so much to this city and keep things moving and making our city better. Your efforts do not go unnoticed. To my supporters over the past 4 years, thank you. Serving this city has been an honor, and I'm incredibly grateful for the trust you placed in me. Sorry, I'm a little just nervous. It does take a lot of time. It takes a lot of time with our kids and everything, and I do hope that people are motivated to step up and run and be willing to step up for this city. To my supporters over the past 4 years, thank you. Serving the city has been an honor, and I'm incredibly grateful for the trust you've placed in me. I'm not sure if my time is completely over. I care deeply about this city and plan to stay involved and continue showing up. Who knows, maybe you'll see me back in 2 years. My family isn't here tonight. My son Ryan had a soccer game, and I did not want him to miss that. So as much as this role means to me, being a parent comes first. I'm happy that he's at his game. To the incoming council members, I wish you success and hope that you lead with honesty, integrity, and respect. When I first stepped into this role, Bob Brooks told me, always vote with your heart and make sure you can lay your head down and sleep well at night. That's the spirit I hope you can carry forward. Thank you all again.
Okay, we are now at item 9, which is oath of office of newly elected mayor and council members submitted by Judge Tom Murphy. What we're going to do here is the kind of the order is we're going to start with the councilman who will be replacing the 2-year term. We will then go to our incumbent and then our 2 new 4-year council folks. So the first person I would ask step forward is Mr. John Felak, and John's wife Mary and his son Andrew will come down, and his daughter Nicole is here with her family. And oh, they're going to come down. Good, good, good. John, y'all step up on the dais. Let Tom get up there. Judge Murphy. Oh, yeah. Can I say just one thing? Just to tell you about this Bible, I say this every time I read a Christmas story. This Bible here was given by Vernon Maddox, the mayor, on May the 14th, 1963. This is a pure King James. That's the real stuff. You want to use? Okay, now let's keep this for. Okay, well. You got to take double the oath now. 2 Bibles, you have to take 2 oaths.
I, John M. Felak, do solemnly swear or affirm as council member of the city of North Augusta, I will equally, fairly, and impartially, to the best of my ability and skill, exercise the trust reposed in me. I will use my best endeavors to preserve the peace, carry into effect, according to the law, purposes for which I've been elected. So help me God.
And just, no, and just grab a seat. No matter. It's okay. Y'all can just do that later. All right, next up, Ms. Pat Carpenter. Pat has got some folks with her, her daughter Fran, her son Frank, and two grandchildren, Ella and Willie. Is that right? All right, y'all come on down. That's all right.
Please raise your right hand. I, Pat C. Carpenter, as council member for the city of North Augusta, I will equally, fairly, and impartially, to the best of my ability and skill, exercise the trust reposed in me. I will use my best endeavors to preserve the peace and carry into effect, according to the law, the purposes for which I have been elected.
And Jamie will take care of that. She likes to do that. Yeah, just hang on. All right, I'm gonna ask Mr. Dennis Bradico, come on down, sir. And you got a couple folks. You got his wife Angela, if you would come down, and Beverly and Sebastian. So if y'all would come on up the dais, please. Dennis, you want to use that Bible or this one? The one you got? Oh, okay, good. Okay. Not every day you get one 1963. There you go, sir.
I, Dennis C. Briatico, as council member of the city of North Augusta, I will equally, fairly, and impartially, to the best of my ability and skill, exercise the trust reposed in me. And I will use my best endeavors to preserve the peace and carry into effect, according to the law, the purposes for which I have been elected. So help me God.
those keys, I promise.
All right, I'm gonna ask Mr. Robert Freitas. He's got a crowd with him. His wife Missy, his son Rob, daughter-in-law Christy, granddaughter Remy, and son-in-law David. Whoever else comes in, y'all come on down, sir. Saw him. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Yeah.
I, Robert L. Freitas, as council member of the city of North Augusta, I will equally, fairly, and impartially, to the best of my ability and skill, exercise the trust reposed in me, and I will use my best endeavors to preserve the peace, to carry into effect, according to the law, the purposes for which I have been elected.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna ask Britton Williams. Oh, I'm already up here. I want to introduce the folks coming up. My wife Jenny Lynn. Come on down, Jenny Lynn. My daughter Margaret Ann is here. Our two boys, Hampton and Banks, and the other lady here, Deborah Sibley. Deborah is my assistant. And when I asked 4 years ago to run for mayor, the two people I had to talk to first was Jenny Lynn and Deborah. Because she's had to take on a lot of responsibility in my office. So, and she's willing to commit again. So thankful for all of them.
Place your left hand on the Bible, raise your right. I, Britton S. Williams, as mayor of the city of North Augusta, I will equally, fairly, and impartially, to the best of my ability and skill, exercise the trust reposed in me. I will use my best endeavors to preserve the peace, to carry into effect, according to the law, the purposes for which I have been elected. So help me God.
In Hollywood, we call that a route. All right, I told each of the new folks in Pat being reelected, if I'd give them a few moments if they'd like to say a few words, and we'll just start on the far end and work this way. Mr. Robert Freitas, if you got any words you'd like to share, don't have to, but if you want to, feel free. Mr. John Fulai.
I would also like to thank my family. It was this wasn't my first attempt, so we've been working on this a long time. So I really appreciate everybody's support to serve the city. And I first want to thank Eric Presnell for his term in office and for his resignation, or I wouldn't be here. And thank you so much to Jen and David for your service to our community. It certainly won't be forgotten, and you, both of you, will be important people for me to discuss with the items that we have to deal on a regular basis. I also want to say, I've been very impressed with those of you that ran on council and successful on your first attempt. It took me 30 years and 4 times to run before I was able to get on the council. Very much looking forward to the next 2 years of my term working with council, and I have a lot of respect for everybody up here on this dais and the employees with the city. I know many of them. I was a city employee for about 6 years, 7 years, and it was really a great time of my working career as well. But thank you all so much.
Ms. Pat Carpenter.
Miss Pat, rather known. Well, I just, of course, like Robert said, thank my Lord Jesus. Every time we make a decision in this city, I pray over that. It's not taken lightly. But I also think about Solomon. When God looked at him and said, Solomon, what do you want? He didn't ask for money, power. He asked for wisdom and discernment. And that's what, every time I'm elected, God give me that. Also, my family, sitting out here, I know they have to put up a lot with me on not just council, but everything. And Fran and Ella and the rest of them who are not here, thank you, and I love you with all my heart. And I love this city with all my heart. Now, I say a lot of times, you as adults, vote for me. But who I love to represent on this council is our youth. I want our youth to have something. This building, when we first built it, I'll never forget, it was a big joke. Look at the Taj Mahal, okay? But I look at it, this building is built out for 40 to 50 years. So when Ella has her grandbabies and then her babies have babies, this building's gonna be here. Same thing with Chief Johnson. That building has been built out. But I'm proud of what we've done, but most of all, I'm proud to serve you as a council member. And if you ever need me, please call on me. And I always say, we're like the mafia. If we can't do it, we'll get it done. So thank you for voting for me.
Mr. Dennis Bradico.
Well, y'all, we did it. Thank everybody for coming tonight. I gotta thank my team who believed in the impossible and just kept pushing me, and we worked hard, man. We really did work hard. We deserve to be here. And I can't do it without the Bradico bunch. My wife is beautiful, and she's been behind me the whole time. And my mom worked at BJ's Custom Drapes, which was in the old North Augusta Carpet, which is about a half a block from here. I was baptized in the Plaza Place pool by George Litchfield. right after it was built. I'm a child of North Augusta. I love my city and I love my people, and I look forward to giving each and every one of you a voice on this council. Thank you.
Very good. Well, first of all, I just want to, of course, thank my family, which I have, and all of my supporters. But really, I want to tell you, this is what makes this a neat community. I want to thank the folks who are citizens who, quite frankly, necessarily did not vote for me. But guess what? They've been praying for me. They've been praying for this council. And that's what's incredible about North Augusta. And I'm thankful for all my supporters, whether they agree with policy or not. They know who I am as Britton Williams, the man, and Christian. And for that, I'm thankful for those people. Guys, I am so excited about the next 4 years. I'm really excited about these 3 new council members. We have already communicated on email a few times. They will be sitting down with Jim Clifford, our city administrator, and me in about a week. We'll talk about how we run meetings, the processes. They'll understand Jim's role as our city administrator, the council role. So I'm going to tell you, when we get through all this in the next week or so, I mean, the 7 of us, we're going to work, okay? And I'm excited. Dennis and I have had a great phone call, okay? And he and I will agree that, you know, we can't control citizens' comments on media, okay? You know, I got a text just the other day about a bunch of junk. I don't care what somebody said 4 years ago, 5 years ago. I don't care what someone did 2 years ago. As of today, what we care about is what the 7 of us do moving forward. That's all that matters. I can't control the past. We control what we do moving forward. We have a 42% change in council. I mean, that is really very unusual. Okay? But we're going to do what we've always done, guys. We're going to stay positive, and we're going to respect each other. My role is a lot of things as mayor, but when it comes to this council, it is to find common ground. It is to move this council forward properly in a positive, respectful manner so we can improve your quality of life. That's what we're trying to do. We are not going to have public dissension on this council. We are not like other communities. We just aren't going to do that. We have things we're going to work on. And listen, our priorities haven't changed. We're going to keep working on, I shared this to somebody the other day. Here's what I think should happen. When you get a good council, 4 years later, your community should be better. Or if you have a 2-year person, your council should be better. Here's what I'm going to tell you. 4 years ago, we are better today than we were 4 years ago. And guess what's going to happen? 4 years from today, Dennis, we're going to be better than we are now. And if we keep doing that, we're going to be really successful as a community, okay? But these guys, you know, communication, we have got to keep working on how do we communicate with you. I'm really hoping they will give us some fresh ideas because we are committed to doing that. How do we communicate? How do we give you a voice? We got to think outside the box. I'm open to that, okay? These guys are going to get thrown into the fire real soon. We got a big vote coming up soon about the Georgia Avenue traffic calming. That's a big piece of our focus on our downtown, making that the heartbeat of our community, walkability, keeping it safe. We got our final study session coming up soon about impact fees. That's going to be a big decision by this council on what that looks like. How do we want to use that for or against the impact of growth? So we got a lot of stuff in the pipeline to be working on. So I'm excited about all that. I want to address this because I don't respond on social media, as you know, and I'm glad Richard's here, but because I want him, and I know he'll agree with me on this. I want to just get this out about me and Richard's relationship because I know Richard has posted some comments, and because I didn't, I want to know I agree with his comments. Richard and we have no animosity among ourselves. We went to the same church for years. His wife, Suzanne, and Jenny Lynn played tennis together. His stepdaughter is a very good friend of my son. His mom and dad literally were the most incredible, salt of the people servants at Grace United Methodist Church. I know his sisters, okay? We are absolutely fine as men. We're adults. But that doesn't mean we agree with everything. He has been very vocal about his vision of what he wants versus what I've done for the last 4 years. Guess what? That's his prerogative. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I've been just like I'm not pleased with how he runs his social media site. But guess what? It's a private membership. He can do what he wants. But that doesn't change our relationship. We're not going to beat each other or be mean to each other. We respect each other. And my point of saying this, one of the things that he and I both have a big agreement on, and I hope we can work toward this, Richard, is 4 years ago when I ran, I knew he was voting for Richard Adams, but he and I spent a lot of time together. One thing that Richard and I both are real like, we are all about community gardens. He likes a community garden. I like a community. I went back after we met when I got elected. I've talked to Asheville. I have a lot of information. And Rich and I talked about how can we do a community garden in our downtown. So I think that's something we can work toward together. I think this council probably will be open to having that conversation, figuring out what that looks like. So we're going to look for those things. So please, the animosity citizens may have on social media, that is between y'all. It is not between the seven of us. It's not people who have run. I'm just telling you. So it's just really important you're with me on that. So my point, the point at the end of the day, we just want to make North Augusta better. We may not agree on that all the time, but if we just keep doing the right thing and put our heads down, know we're doing the right thing, at the end of the day, we're going to be better. So I just felt like I wanted to share that. I appreciate it. At this point, we are going to go to administrative reports. Mr. Jim Clifford will give us 2 updates, sir. You should have.
Mr. Mayor, while we're queuing up the presentations, I would like to add 2 things under administrative comments. One is that we had late breaking news from SCDOT that they're going to begin their road surfacing or resurfacing projects this week, and that will include Brookside Avenue and East Spring Grove going this week, and then they'll move on to other roads to include Hamburg Road, Socrates Drive, Mountside Drive, Yardley Drive, and Whitlaw's Road. Tom Zezer will be giving more of a detailed update in the study session next week. Just wanted to let you know if you see any work that's going on downtown, that's what's happening there, and that's part of the SCDOT road resurfacing projects where we participate for C funds. So with that, we'll go ahead and move into the utility billing update. So as we've talked about in previous sessions, but since we have a larger audience today, we'll take our time. As we transition to GovSense, they had a issue moving the data over from the legacy system called CSI over to GovSense, and that caused 2 billing cycles that had errors. That was February 25th and the March 10th billing cycles. And so we halted all billing at that point in time until we could get a full audit and see where we were. But now we are putting out accurate bills, and so I'll show you on a calendar coming up how that's going. But also we've instituted, just like we did for Hurricane Helene, we put in a centralized phone number there, which is shown here on the screen. And so we'll be able to respond within 3 business days, which is our published standard. But I would tell you right now, we're responding calls either same day or within 24 hours. We've not had any calls that took longer than that to respond. Launching the system in 2025, and so some people have asked, why have we gone to a new system? The old system was working just fine. Well, if you're familiar with IT systems, at some point in time, Microsoft stopped supporting whatever Windows version you have. For old people like me, that might have been Windows 95 or Windows XP, and they stopped making patches and updates for those systems. And then they become vulnerable to cyber attack. You cannot get qualified folks to help you with the systems when they go bad. And so much like we went through a 911 software upgrade with Chief and the Smart Cop, that was something that we wanted to do with our ARPA funds, which are time sensitive, to get those into a new billing cycle. And CSI, likewise, the CSI system that we had was outside of the support time frame, and so we had the funding available, and so we wanted to move to a new software system. And so that's what we did. And so they went through forward and again had some of those problems we saw in those 2 billing cycles. Next slide. So what we did with that is we've listed hurricane response as our #1 priority essentially since September 27th of last year. And by that, I mean we've task organized our city staff and our priority efforts around hurricane response. But then when we saw what happened with our billing cycle, we restacked that and made that our #1 priority. And then because of that, we've been able to pull personnel, administrative personnel out of other departments to assist with the finance department, whether it's through the front desk or through answering phone calls. And my guidance to our finance department and also to the contract vendor was that late bills are preferable to inaccurate bills. The #1 thing that people are getting really excited about is if they get an inaccurate bill, and I can certainly understand that. So we are not billing until we had an internal audit through each of those billing cycles, and we've completed the majority of those audits, and so we're putting out now our accurate water bills. But in that meantime, I also gave authorities to the finance director to suspend all water shutoffs and all late fees. So that information is posted on the city's website. It's also posted on the doors downstairs. And then we've been doing a manual audit through those 1,100 accounts. And you can see the steps that were taken there below. Next slide. So where we are today is we've had some billing cycles go out properly. We have cycle 1 will go out, and cycle 2 will also go out late, but getting closer to being on time. And again, we're not going to apply late fees or shutoffs until I'd like to make sure we're fully audited and fully on a timeline that all the citizens are used to before we go ahead and start enacting those changes. So I'll bring that to the council at a future meeting to give you those timelines to see what that looks like. Again, we've had additional staff put on the mission set to respond, and that seems to have gone a long way. And you'll see, especially last week, we had a whole table set up downstairs to help people navigate that system, especially because that coincided with the tax bills being due and also business license fees being due. But overall, finance department had the right assets in place to be able to do those things. We also have a weekly meeting we conduct with our new contract partner, and I'm actually meeting with the CEO tomorrow. Next slide. So just to kind of lay out some of the timelines here, today being the 5th of May, Cinco de Mayo, we're expecting to mail out bills on the 7th of May, and so bills really will, based on the mail system we've got, will likely arrive for our citizens between the 8th to the 10th, really. And then we're also looking at getting the May 10th bill cycle out on the 13th. And then when you go down to the 27th, we anticipate no later than that will the May 25th bills. And I think that gets us very close to having the billing cycles on time. And so what we'll see as we move into June, billing cycle that is accurate. The bills are accurate. Bills are accurate today, but you'll see things that are more regular based on the time that they've had. And what we also, I'll throw out here on the next slide.
Jim, hold 1 second.
Yes, ma'am.
And I talked to Britton about this, and I got the lady's address, but she said she has not got a bill in 2 months. So when this goes out May 7th, will she have both her 2 bills?
They'll probably send out the bill that they have in hand. So I'm not sure why she would not have received a previous bill, but she can call that number directly.
Okay.
And that we have out there on the website and also here. Or if you want to send that to me directly, I'll work that on the backside. The mayor had sent me a different constituent complaint of the same nature, and we ran that to ground and found that, you know, we can reach those bills.
She was right happy she hadn't had a bill. But I know it's coming.
Yes, ma'am. Next slide. So we also have an issue. There's a separate from our normal contract. We have Fiserv and Clover, which is the element that takes the online payments, usually through credit cards. And so they had an issue on their end from the April 9th to the 14th. So we have customers that have paid through Clover, but we don't have accurate records of who paid when and how much. And so we have another meeting signed up with Clover and Fiserv this week. So again, just to let our citizens know, if they have something they would like to say that, hey, we made a payment on this date to Clover, you know, to let us know in the finance office or through a phone call, and we'll track that down. But again, no late fees and no shutoffs are going to occur until we have 100% everything buttoned up. Next slide.
Jim.
Yes, sir.
With Clover, are we like making progress with them? I know you saying that y'all are having a meeting this week, but it seems like we're not getting too making too much progress with them.
I'm not satisfied with the progress with Clover. Understand that Fiserv is the parent company that acquired Clover as
Gotcha.
the folks that do this. So I've had, elevated to this point now. We've got senior level reps from both Fiserv and Clover involved trying to do this. We have a contract with Clover through September of 26. And so right now the get out clause is high. So we're trying to make this work. But based on the overall contract performance, I think that would heavily influence our decision next year on whether we're going to hold on to them or not.
Thanks.
Next slide. So again, we've had some late fees have been suspended for cutoffs. Cutoffs have been suspended. We've had utility bills that were issued on the February 25th and March 10th cycles that had errors. We're going to continue to be delayed somewhat for those billing cycles listed above, but those will be accurate. And again, we've got a new centralized customer service line, which we're going to leave in place until we're 100% transitioned into the GovSense system. So I'll pause for any questions there on our utility billing. Next slide. Let's go to the Hurricane Helene update. And so just for our new council members, this was not our normal practice prior to Hurricane Helene, but if we have something that's affecting pretty much every resident and is a major area of concern, then I make sure that the council is updated at every either study session or council meeting, usually both, about what the main effort of the city is. And so I'm going to continue to update city council members and our citizens on the Hurricane Helene efforts because that's ongoing. And so go ahead, next slide. So this is a kind of a refresher for existing council members, for our new council members, and for our citizens that are watching today. Understand that the city road network in the city of North Augusta is actually managed by multiple parties. And so you have roads that are maintained by Aiken County, which is a small number of roads. You have roads that are maintained by the city of North Augusta, represented in blue, which are city maintained roads. And then you have SCDOT roads, and those are listed there in red. So you may live in the same neighborhood, and I'll show you on a future slide about how that road network looks. But ultimately, there's a reason why some roads got cleaned faster than others, why some roads may have stumps still on them and others do not. It has a lot to do with the fact that there are different entities responsible for the cleanup of those roads. And then also, as it comes down to FEMA reimbursement rationales, we have to make sure that we're not necessarily picking up SCDOT debris because that's not eligible for FEMA reimbursement. Ultimately, we want to make sure that we're not putting the citizens in a bad spot as we are, outlaying, millions of dollars, if you will, to do this cleanup, and that we're not left holding the bag on how much that's going to cost. So, we'll have FEMA reimbursement. We're getting told South Carolina will do some reimbursement as well. But ultimately, one of the goals that we're having is trying to balance the amount of debris that we're picking up, the timeline in which we're picking up, and also the cost that the city is going to have to bear at the end of the day, which we're trying to get down to zero. Next slide. So I just wanted to give you some examples of how we've done this in the past. We were largely done. We're still doing some neighborhoods, but I just wanted to show our new council members through our GIS system that we would go through different neighborhoods, and I-20 is actually pretty easy for us. So north of I-20, all of those road networks are actually city-maintained roads, not SCDOT roads. So we had a much greater control over the pace of operations up there, and you can see that. Plus, they had a closer dump site there. And so we've used the country club property as one of many dump sites for our debris. And so we have to be able to account for things. And people have asked, well, can we use that for something else? And so there's a FEMA requirement that is basically a cradle to grave requirement of being able to account for where the debris was picked up, where it was taken to, where it was ground up, and then ultimately what the final disposition of that debris is. And so that's why we have to have monitoring companies and other folks involved with this whole process. Next slide. Again, this is just an example of what we've done. And as we went through this plan going from north to south along I-20 through our road networks, again, the blue roads being the city-maintained networks and the red roads being the SCDOT. And so even when we started off in a neighborhood like Savannah Barony, just based on the number of trees and the number of stumps that were pulled out, that neighborhood took us almost 3 weeks just to be able to do the first pass through that neighborhood before moving down into the next neighborhood. And down through Hammond Hills, that's probably our ground zero. That was the number one hit neighborhood that we had here inside North Augusta. But the vast majority of the road network were SCDOT roads. Next slide. So again, this is a product that we would show to our city council members. This one's from several months ago, where we were able to show, hey, here's our progress through the city road networks going through on a weekly basis. And at this point in time, we're at like 99.95% of the major debris picked up. That doesn't mean that there's not going to be debris out there. We're still working with AT&T and Comcast to get some of the wires, because you're going to see some wire debris that's out there along Woodlawn Avenue and some Jackson Avenue and some other areas throughout the city. But ultimately, that's their responsibility to address. Plus, we also don't want to have our personnel touching live wires out there, regardless of what the carrier system is. Next slide. So from the time that we had our last update, we're continuing to work on the West Martintown corridor with our city crews. I had briefed previously that we were removing debris from the soccer complex. That is 100% complete, and what we're going to have crews doing now is returning that to a basic state for parking purposes for the soccer complex. So that means that all the debris has been removed from the soccer complex, and now our folks are going to grade it and lay some stone on there so people can park. We've had a grinder arrive at the country club property, which again greatly contributes to the speed at which we can move operations to be able to backhaul that equipment. And then we're still doing backhaul operations out. We're using city crews to conduct the wastewater line easement. So basically, in order for us to access the sewer network through the woods, we have easements through various property owners, and our city crews are going through now and opening up those easements so we have full access to all of our sewer networks. We have a contractor that's currently working on the stormwater detention pond systems, and they're probably at least halfway through that system by now. And then I drove by through the Knobcon to Martintown intersection. If you drive through there, you can see that SCDOT is busily grinding away at those debris piles and then backhauling out as they go. Next slide. So what do we have planned here that I should be updating on next week? We're continuing to do our mix-up of SCDOT and city roads. We're going to continue to do grinding operations from the country club property first, but ultimately we're going to see another grinder show up at the East Buena Vista site where our other large pile is. We're basically operating 2 city sites right now. SCDOT has 2 sites here within the city limits, and we have 2 sites within the city limits that we're working through. We also have a contractor which we're going to let, or the request for proposals this week for the fencing repair around all the stormwaters. And then we're also going to be going through on the demolition of Maud Edenfield Park structure likely next week. And lastly, the key date to have out here is that we have to close out all of our reimbursable work by FEMA the 1st of July of this year. Anything after 1 July is not going to be eligible for FEMA reimbursement, at least not to our understanding. And so we're making sure we're doing the last bit of finish work required to make sure that we're going to meet that timeline so we don't encumber our general fund for hurricane responses. Next slide. And again, this is not a super popular slide, but when I'll put that out there anyway again. So we're going to go ahead and be getting full yardway service going here in early June. But if you cannot be patient, which is totally fine, then you can bag those items that you can, whether it's leaves or sticks or whatever else, into any of those type of bag systems. And again, that's based on the fact that we have one city crew with one type of truck that has the claw on it that will reach out and grab it. So in order for us to service the entire city for limited yard waste operations, we have to have it bagged so it can be pulled up into the truck and moved from there. Next slide. And as we discussed in previous city council meetings, effective the 2nd of June, that week we'll be moving back to our standard yard debris operations moving forward, where again, baggers are encouraged, but not required by the citizens. Next slide. So I briefed this slide a while ago, but I wanted to kind of give a relook at this. So this is when we started this operation on the first week of October as a full response to the storm on the 27th. We wanted to make sure we had power restoration to 100%, and thanks to our partners at Dominion Energy, the State Guard, the National Guard, and a number of other partners that we had, were able to get us access to be able to get power restored to all of our citizens, to have all road hazards fully identified and removed, which has been completed, all the road debris cleared, and roads to pre-hurricane status, which I'd say has been completed. You're still going to see some things that are in the easements and on the side of the road, but the road networks themselves are clear and are completely passable. Recreation facilities and city parks open to the extent possible. I left that in amber, mostly because we're still doing work at Beck Park, at Maud Edenfield Park, and also because the Creighton Park construction is still undergoing for replacement of the playground there. We still have to present to you our overall insurance status. I would tell you that according to MASC, we have the highest level of claims in the state of South Carolina for Hurricane Helene, And I believe we've surpassed the city of Sumter from the flooding incident they had several years ago. So we might be number one overall. Last but not least was the Greenway being passable from end to end. We had a great relationship with R&R Tree Service out of Beaufort, Georgia, and they were able to get the Greenway fully open for us by Christmas. Next slide. And with that, I'll pause for questions from any of our council members or mayor.
It's not really a question, but just want to say hats off to the city workers. I've still seen them working every Saturday and Sunday, and they have not stopped since the hurricane. Hats off to them.
Yes, sir.
Is this stuff eligible for repurpose the ground up product? Because I saw where a citizen asked if we could bring a load of it along the Greenway to dump it in a place that was really kind of swampy, or has it been deemed we don't know the source, it might be toxic?
There's two reasons why we're not allowed to do this, Councilman. One is FEMA requires us to be able to show cradle to grave of the disposition of the mulch or the debris that is there. The second reason is because based on the feedback we've gotten from our arborists on staff, is there's a fair amount of oak tree disease in some of those grindings, and now that it's all mulched up, what you don't want to do is spread that disease through other parts of the city and have that affect the trees that we have remaining.
Thank you.
Good question.
Mr. Mayor, if I could also, I did want to highlight for the council today that there was a lot of things going on at Cinco de Mayo. There's a lot of other good things going, but I did want to highlight that Chief Johnson represented the city today over in Columbia County, Georgia, for the funeral of Columbia County Deputy Brandon Sykes. We had our honor guard participate in that, and Chief, along with a lot of other law enforcement officers throughout the CSRA, participated in that event. Tough day for law enforcement overall, but Chief, thanks for representing the city and for being good partners for Columbia County, Georgia.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, we are at item 11, presentation, communication, recognition of visitors. This is just the time where if citizens can speak to mayor council about anything not on the agenda. We had a public power hour, so don't know if anybody feels like if it's something they need to talk to us about. I don't see anybody's hand, so I'm gonna move to final council comments. I'll just say that we'll get this out. I've not had checked social media yet, but we will get this out next Monday, the 12th, at 6 o'clock. We will be having public feedback for the George Avenue traffic calming study. That's going to be like a public comment period. So this is not where you and I are going to we'll have dialogue, but we will give you 5 minutes to, starting at 6, to come up to the podium. And we're going to have, so this week we'll get it all. We'll get the report out there on social media. We'll get all that. So council, y'all can forward that on yours. So we'll get all that out there. But that'll be at 6 o'clock. And again, that's going to be for you to say, hey, you know what? I saw this and here's what I want y'all to consider. Or I like this, or I don't like this. We're not having a conversation about it. It's just a comment period that we're going to allow you 5 minutes to share with us. So we can gather that information before we move forward into our voting in the near future. So we just wanted to get that out to everybody. All right, we're excited about everything. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for being here. A great turnout, and y'all stand. Oh, I missed something. Oh, yeah, sorry, Dave. I didn't hear you.
Real quick, hey, Jennifer, just want to tell you it was an honor and privilege to serve with you. You did the citizens well. You know, you gave everything you had for 4 years, and I know you'll stay engaged in the city, and, you know, I'll probably try to bounce some stuff off of you.
Very good.
David McGee, 12 years, that's a lot of time. I mean, Pat, 32, my goodness gracious. But just want to tell you thank you. Your knowledge has been invaluable. I'm still going to have some questions, so I hope you don't mind me giving you a call, because you know, that Project Jackson, I mean, it's almost getting done, but I'm sure I'll still have a question about it too. But just want to tell you, thank you for your service.
All right. Very good. Thank y'all. We stand adjourned.